Hello and welcome back to the Finish Line. I'm your host, Andrew Halligan, and as always, I'm joined by Dave and Tom. Boys, how are we?
Back.
He missed
Good.
Monday. He missed the absolute choked in horse from Harry Copton, who half of Ireland that been lumping on so far.
I'm very busy.
Yeah. How are you, Tom?
Busy man, Dave.
What's that, Tom?
You're a busy man.
It's very busy, Tom. Very, very busy. It's good complaint.
Champions weekend should be good, lads.
Should it?
Yeah, I think so. I like Champions Day.
Yeah, it's not too bad. There's a lot of sharp prices, but we will go through every single race in the card, even the handicap of the last.
This is a prime example of a day where outsiders win.
Yeah, pretty much. So we may as well start from the start. First race 120 is the Qipco British Champions Long Distance Cup. And we have a field of Stradivarius, Search for a Song, Fugiera Prince, Mirando, Spanish Moon, Dog Patrol, and so on. Tom, kick us off. Stradivarius, too soon after the arc, or didn't he take much out of himself after that?
Yeah, a soft ground arc, and he turns up here only 13 days later. You know, it's not ideal. He's had 2 trips to France now because he went over to Longchamp as well before that. So yeah, I don't know. He got beaten this race last year as well by Kew Gardens when nobody thought he'd get beat, and he's probably had a more difficult year this year than he had last year.
I said he'd get beat.
He backed.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd get beat, but anyway, he got beat.
You get no praise for taking on horses.
I think you just turn around and say all of these superstar horses, you're like, oh, I'll get beat today, and then the one day it gets beat, you're like, oh yeah, beat, told you.
Says the fella that's hanging on to make good's fucking arse for the last 2 years.
Oh, 2 miles, lads, 2 miles and blinkers.
Oh,
Come on, Tom McConnell. If you're watching, 2 miles blinkers, he'll win.
He's a fucking shite hawk.
Oh, shite hawk. Can we copyright that phrase?
Anyway,
back to the long distance cup.
So I will take on Stradivarius. My problem is I have no idea what to take him on with.
I know who to take him on with.
Go on, Dave. If you've got I'm keen to take him on, so I'm happy just to lay him at the price. I think, but if you've got something, go for it.
This is literally only to do with the ground, which I think will be like really deep, soft, heavy ground. And he runs above himself every time he's on heavy ground. Mirando.
No, I didn't.
The bowling horses are flying. For some reason, the King Power horses are flying, and they did the same time last year. Around this time last year, they were flying when the ground went heavy and soft. And the Sousa is flying. He literally runs probably 12 pounds better on heavy ground, I'd say. He's that much better on heavy ground. He's beaten some decent horses on heavy ground. He wins by 6-7 lengths. It's just madness. So I think at 10-1, he's a great bet. Like he bet Kew Gardens at Chester last year by like 8 or 9 lengths.
He did.
And it was simply because the ground was like bottomless. It was like a bog. And he just sluices through it. So I think he's an absolute brilliant each way bet.
That's way in any way, Tom.
Yeah, I don't mind that. The one I'm going to throw in there is as the each way bet against him is Broom.
Oh, it doesn't sway him at all.
Not really. Yeah, it is what it is. The one I'm going to throw in is Broom. He's only had one run this year and was off for a long time before that. But if he was to turn up here, his 2 runs on soft ground, he's won both of them. One of those was when Fresh beaten Sovereign by 8 lengths in a Group 3 at Leopardstown. Looks like he'd stay at Newmarket anyway behind Gaia. Yeah, I'd take that as a 4th in the Derby if you go back. Like the form's there and goes on soft ground. Yeah, Broom each way would be my shout.
Yeah, I have to agree with Dave. Simply because every year we see mad results. this meeting. Last year, as we said, Stradivarius was beaten in it. I think he's not having enough for the season. Where he'll come back next year, we don't know. But I presume Mirando's been laid out for this. The money's come from already. Heavy ground, Ascot. Once it gets heavy, it gets really heavy, and I think he's a cracking bet. Stays at 10-20 each way. And I agree with you with Broome as well. He's the back class. He's fresh horses at this meeting do well. So I gladly take on Stradivarius with any of them two. But
Stradivarius is obviously going to look to people a decent price at around 8 to 11 here on Paddy Power. He could even be even money on Saturday. Like he'd beat all these horses normally, but he also ran the Arc only 2 weeks ago on heavy ground. He's going to tell a story. And like I said, he got bet in this last year. So it's a dodgy bet.
And he was beating it when it was geared around this. He didn't run in an Arc or anywhere near that time last season. So I think he's more vulnerable this year. If he hasn't had any ill effects of the Arc, he's the most likely winner. But do you want to take a chance at 8-11 on that, where you know he was beaten the last year? You know he's not having a hard enough season. Well, not hard enough season, but this will be its third run close enough together, where you have the likes of Miranda and Broome who are coming in here kind of fresh and geared around this meeting. So yeah, I'm Miranda each way at 10-1, same as Dave. Right, we will move on to 155 and the British Champions Sprint Stakes. I'm actually really looking forward to this race. We've Dream of Dreams, who's had to turn himself inside out this season. One Master, who is fresh from 3 wins in the Prix de la Forêt at Longchamp. Oxted, the July Cup winner. Starman, who was 3 for 3. Make a Challenge, who was Make a Challenge. And then we've 10-1 Big at a Race. Dave, your thoughts on this?
I like 2 in this. Dream of Dreams is a good horse, but I still don't know what to make of him. I think 7 Furlong suits him better, to be honest. One Masters, the whole season was geared around winning that Prix de la Forêt again. She's a 7 Furlong horse. Yeah. I like Oxted, but it worries me that we haven't seen him since the July Cup. So I'm going to take an each way chance on Art Power. I think he ran better the last day in the Haydock Spring Cup. Mm-hmm. I don't think the 5 Furlong Nunthorpe suited him at all. And I'm going to give Starman a go. Ed Walker's horse.
Okay.
Tom Marquand is back on in the Group 1, which he shouldn't have been jocked off. English King, all them months ago anyway.
Right from again.
And his form, like he's a 3-year-old colt by Dutch Art. I think he liked the soft ground. He's coming from a listed race to a Group 1, but a lot of the sprinting races, the top handicaps listed races, are quite similar in ratings to what you get in the Group 2, Group 1. They tend to beat each other a lot. We've said it all through the summer here. You get strange results. This race is always a strange result every year. And Dakota Gold came out and won at York last week by 2 or 3 lengths, and he gave him a good whopping at Doncaster or York the time before. So I think he's a good horse.
Tom, what do you think?
I think I know we're saying like it's only 13 days after the ARC meeting, but just One Master has been so consistent this year. We know she goes on soft ground, and second in this race last year. I think if there's an each way bet, as I was saying to you just before we came on, I went through the races last night and I've actually had a few bets. One Master at 11-2 is one of those each way. I just can't have her out of the first 4 anyway. The one I'll give a shout to at a wild price, well, not a wild price, but 16-1, I think he is Cape Byron. Look, probably needs to up his form a little bit. Has solid handicap form, goes on soft ground, has won over this course and distance, and has gone very well fresh as well. Hasn't been seen since this meeting last year, but has won first time up before. So if there's one in there that's a fresh horse coming into this and could go for a bit of an upset, it's probably Cape Byron for me.
Okay. I really like Dream of Dreams. I've been impressed how he's improved since his first start of the season, where he was second, and then his first win was a very impressive win by half the track, and then he backed it up by beating Glenn Shields, who was on quite a good run coming into that race. I like that he's after having a break coming into this. He acts around Ascot, acts on the ground, stays very strong for the trip. I think he'll be very hard to beat. Go looking through each way. I can't really. Cape Byron was the one I was actually looking at as well, but I think when it all comes down to it, I think Dream of Dreams will be extremely hard to beat in this. Yeah. So your final picks again?
I'll go for Starman.
Tom, final pick.
One Master, Andrew, and Cape Byron. I'm having two.
Right, so next on the card is the British champions, Fillies and Mares. It looks like Magical is going champion stakes, so we are left with a field of Wonderful Tonight, who's 7-2 favourites, Antonia de Vega, 4-1, Dame Malio 4-1, even so 12s, Alpinista 7s, Frankly Darling 10s, and bigger the rest. Tom, take it away. Who do you like in this one?
I thought for this one that Wonderful Tonight would take the world a beating, to be honest. Ran very well at Longchamp. Good form behind that. Before that, behind Tarnara. Goes very well on soft ground. Is proven on soft ground. David Menchua's horses are in absolutely flying form. They literally just could not be going better. I think the trip suits, the ground suits, and another key factor in this for me is she only has to carry 8 stone 13 as she's a 3-year-old. The next 3 in the betting all carry 9.5, which is obviously £6 more. That's going to be a lot of weight, I think, on soft ground over a mile 4 at Ascot. And as I say, I did have a few bets. That's another one of them. I think she's got a really, really good chance. William Buick's booked, I see. So.
Dave, you agree?
I rarely say on this, I think about you for saying certainties, but I think Wonderful Tonight is an absolute certainty.
Oh, that's 2 of us, Dave.
Really?
She has 8 runs in her life. 4 of them are on heavy, deep ground. The first one was her maiden, which was a good maiden if you go back through it. The other 3 races she's won. The last one is a grade 1 on Longchamp on Arc weekend. They were pretty much 50-50 for supplementer and paying that 74 grand to run in the Arc because of the ground. Because she's so much better on heavy ground. She's by Le Havre, a French horse who won the French Derby, who was a heavy ground horse as well. She's getting, I read this exactly the same way as Tom, the weight she's getting from the 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds on heavy ground. I thought the only thing that could beat her is Alpinista, but she doesn't seem to like soft ground. So it literally was like a simple choice in the end.
Right. Wonderful Tonight is going to make a wonderful day, lads. She's going to absolutely piss it. She's, as Dave said, as Tom said, she's carrying very little weight. She's after winning the Group 1 a Longchamp. She was supplemented for by ridiculous money. She literally pissed up in it. She caught my eye that day. Heavy ground. Everything is in her favour. She seems to be a horse that is improving with racing. Get on the 7-2 while the last. I don't fancy anything else in it. She is, to me, the standout bet of the weekend. So we're all either going to be broke or we're going to be absolutely singing all the way to the bank.
Yep. We're all in agreement.
All in agreement. So she's going to, any of your Betfair accounts there, start laying it right now. Right. Straight on to the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. We have the absolute machine that is Palace Pier, who is odds-on favourite at 8-11 with Paddy Power. The Revenant, who came back with a very good win at Longchamp the other weekend. Qipco, who has no hope of staying on the ground. Circus Maximus, Century Dream, Nazareth, and so on and so forth. Dave, it's just a matter of Palace Pier turning up, winning, and going. See you next year.
It's not going to be original, but yeah, if the Palace Pier that we saw earlier in the season turns up, he'll win. He went through the ground at Deauville that day when he bet Alpine Star. So it's
very hard to get away from.
It's usually a good race, and there's some decent horses in it, but we've lost a few. I don't think Qipco is going to run now either.
No, I think the ground will go way too soft for him.
It was building up to be one of the races of the year, like around the middle of the summer, with the milers that were coming out with Palace Pier and Mahater and Siskin and so on and so forth. But a Persian King, I suppose, as well, won that mile race and Pinatubo. But they've all been retired or their seasons are over or they got injured. So it looks like it's going to be easy for Palace Pier now.
Do you agree, Tom? Revenant each way.
Revenant each way, you knew it. Revenant each way. Look, if you want to have a bet and you want to try and make some money, that's a proper bet in this race. 5-1, or I think you could still get 11-2 last night as well. You can still get 11-2 in one place. For me, that's an outstanding each way bet in this race. Second in the race last year, was very good at Longchamp, loves heavy ground. You know, Palace Pier, that Alpine Star form is fine. It's fine. It's nothing better than that though. The race before that against Pinatubo was obviously very good. I'm happy for him to go win at the price, and I'd definitely take the Revenant each way.
Yeah, I agree. I think Palace Pier he's by far the best horse in the race. I know the Revenant has a good record, but if you look at the race he ran in last year and he's beaten it, it's not up to Palace Pier standards at all. The bet, if I was going each way for me, is Circus Maximus. You know what you're going to get. He's a battle-hardened Group 1 performer. I can't see him being out of the top 3. Another one who I'd give another chance to, who ran at the Irish Champions weekend, was Simon and Ed Christopher's Century Dream. The ground went against them at Leopardstown, back on ground more suitable. Absolutely sluiced up in France the time before. Or not France, Goodwood, sorry. The time before. I think he's a cracking each way bet, 16-1. He himself and Circus Max was anyone for an each way punt for me. But it seems that Palace Pier is going to take the world of beating. Can't wait till flat is over. This is painful.
I like this card. I've got some strong fancies.
Every year it looks like you could get a double or a treble up, and
something comes out of nowhere.
It never happens.
Right, Qipco Champion Stakes. Dave Magical wins. Yes, no, your lover.
I don't know how anybody can take her on after the last bit. The vibes out of the camp are better and better. Seems better as a 5-year-old than she ever was. Goyat is the best horse in the world, and she beat him fair and square. So I just can't. Mistress.
Hey, yes! Yes, I'm not the only one.
Mistress. Say that. Mistress form.
Mistress form.
Very good.
Thanks. I'm practicing.
It's obviously because it's a word that you're not really is too hard to say, so you can just say it. Because normal words are too hard for you to say.
But yet you make a balls of that.
But there you go.
That was harsh, by the way.
His form is so questionable. Them French 3-year-old donkeys are useless. Vic Ladorum and the likes of the Summit.
Yeah,
absolutely terrible.
I wasn't going to go that strong, but it is. Yeah.
In the context of this Group 1, they are abysmal.
Yeah.
So how he's 3-1 is beyond me. The horse that won over Arco again, the Longchamp, Scaletti, he's not a bad horse.
You're having an absolute mare.
He's not a bad horse now, that French horse. He's by a French trainer that I wouldn't really know, but he's not a bad horse. And then you have
Dave. I actually know a bit about that trainer. He's a good trainer.
He looks like a right good horse anyway. Then you have other horses you're unsure if they're going to run, like Pile Driver and Serpentine, so on and so forth. But look, it's magical all day. And I think with the way her price is contracting all week, that there'll be a significant amount of Ballydoyle and Coolmore money on it.
Oh, there's going to be an absolute avalanche. JP will be even in on it, I'd say.
I can see her going off even money.
Yeah, she's going to go off short. 13-8, Paddy Power now. If you really fancy her, I'd take it. I reckon she's going to go off really, really short. She's my idea of the winner, and I think the forecast is Magical and Adabe to follow her home.
Same too as last year.
Yeah.
He loves soft
He
ground.
loves soft ground. He's in the farmer's life. He's won 2 Group 1s in Australia. What that amounts to over here is not much. He had a prep run at Ayr on. He more or less pissed in. He looked like he needed a run. He blew up halfway through it and ran on again. He's been laid out for this. He has his ground. He has everything in his favour. At worst, he's going to follow Magical home. If Magical doesn't turn up, I think he'll pick up the pieces. Tom, who would you like?
I like Magical as well, lads.
Yeah! At the ones there.
It's about time.
Yes!
She's probably about a 5 to 4 shot in my book.
You shouldn't have listened to when we were talking about Naval and kept your money for this.
You're the guy who told me to back her. I wouldn't have wasted my money if you didn't tell me to.
Dave gets drunk, he gets just mad notions.
Too many points, Tom.
Losing jackets and all that, and then they end up in your wardrobe.
I am a fan of Scaletti. I'm looking forward to seeing him take this step up in class. Jerome Rainier is the trainer. He's a young trainer in France, but he's very good. So I've got no problems there. He's going to be interesting, but he does need to step up. Magical just has all the form. Mishrif, as Dave said, I question his form. He's literally beaten the Summit and the Durham twice. How good that form is, I don't know. They did not expect him to do anything like that this season, I don't think, which kind of tells you more of a story. And the first race he won, do you remember that horse Valkonig, lads, who you thought was going to be like a Derby winner or something?
Is he dead?
He must be gone.
He was useless, lads.
Yeah.
So he's beat nothing. So yeah, the question marks are definitely there for me about Mishrif. Lord North is another one. He's solid, as is Adabe. Pile Driver is interesting as well, but I just see Magical as a few pounds ahead of this lot.
She's more than a few. She's the least a stone bearer in a lot of them. It's
not a stone. She's not even the highest rated in the race, but she's not even the second highest rated in the race.
Stop. Who's the highest rated in there?
Lord North.
Stop the lies. This is why you don't trust figures. This is the exact reason. It's just shy.
Followed by Adabe.
Like, how is she not the top rating? She's beating the best horse in the world on ratings. Explain that to me. You beat the best, but yet, oh wait, you're still not the best. But you go into a Group 1 at Ascot. Oh look, you're the third best.
It's going to be great because she's been living in the naval shadow for 3 years. She's going to win on Saturday, and then she'll win horse race. She'll win Horse of the Year at the horse racing awards, and she'll finally get her justification as how good she is.
Is that enabled form or suspect now?
I don't care.
No.
As long as Magical wins.
20 points.
Yeah, I see you trying there. Fat chance of that happening. No. Enable was obviously better than Magical, lads. That's proven for many meetings. So
yeah, it's just subject that how good is Magical then? I'm only taking the piss.
Why are you being mean, Tom?
What's that?
Why are you being mean?
I'm not being mean. You just hate Enable. You're Enable knockers.
Like, I was right 2 years in a row. Thank you very much.
You're being mean because Enable got retired because you can't hack it anymore.
Yeah.
2 years in a row, lads. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not. We're not even getting into this Enable debate. This is like This is like your Graham Rodway fucking anyone can train a horse, all you have to do is gallop them up a hill debate.
I'd pay to see that. We would pay to see that. Absolute tool.
It's just not very clever, is it? I don't get how these people work for like the Racing Post and their tipsters. Imagine taking tips off someone who thinks that every trainer is just the same and you just have to keep a horse fit by galloping up a hill and that's it.
Do they sit down and just go through a production meeting and go, what stupid thing can we say today? Oh yeah, training racehorses is easy. We go with that.
I'd say it's something to do with that show is shite, so they're trying to keep it relevant.
No, I don't watch that crap.
Yeah, exactly. Don't ever.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's diabolical. What race?
Yes, I call it crap.
Look, we'll have plenty of genuine listeners anyway that are watching our show anyway. So,
we've some ideas coming up as well for a jump season. We talked about jump season before we get on to the last race.
No, this is the end now. So
Dave's done. Dave's had it up with this.
we can start being excited for
Right, Balmoral handicap. Keats for me. No, Keats. Yeah, Tom. Who do you think?
I got one for this actually. I'm just going to see what price is. I backed it last night as well. And I really fancy this. Is the Jessica Harrington trade Nord?
Yeah, that's no chance.
What did you say?
No, go ahead there, Tom. Keep going.
Switched from Sheila Lavery to Jessica Harrington at the end of last year. Has improved and improved. And you hear Shane Foley talking about this horse, and it's got beat a few times, but like it's ran twice around Galway and come second of 16, second of 18. It was then fifth in the Curragh, was a bit unlucky again on heavy ground. I think they think it's definitely a group horse, and they're a bit shocked as how it's got beat, to be honest. I think a competitive, well-run handicap is exactly what he needs. Goes on soft ground, and yeah, I'm pretty sweet on him.
I'll elaborate on Keith. I backed him last time at Cork. He holds actually your horse on form. There's one is 10 to 1 and one is 8 to 1. He went on the ground. He's been a slow improver during the season. I really liked how he knuckled down when he looked like he was going to get beat, and he actually pulled away to win by a length and a half against another Jessica Harrington horse, Free Solo. I think he's improving a lot. There's been a lot of money for him. I was looking at him last night, and he was 12s. He's now 8s. I'd be fair keen on him. It's not often you see a Ballydoyle horse in a handicap, and he is 1 to 0 for me. Come on, hit us with a big one.
Right.
Big one.
I have a really strong fancy in this, but I'll talk about another horse that I think is an each way chance first.
No, I want the big one.
It's Escobar.
Right? Oh, really? He's not a fruitcake.
He won it last year. David O'Mara's horses this time of year always run well in handicaps. He
gets excited when he does this.
He had Gulliver come out last week and win the same race that he won the year before at York, and his form was absolute piss all year, and he came out and won that. Escobar again, heavy ground, wouldn't surprise me. He runs really well. He won it well last year or the year before. But the one I really fancy is River Nymph, Clive Cox's horse. He's an absolute unreal trainer with sprinters. I watched this horse his first race out, and I was shocked he didn't win. Had a few pound on him the next day at Newmarket, and he came like 8 to 10. And I couldn't understand what had happened because I was full sure he was going to win.
Yeah, he told me back.
Yeah. He comes out the next day, then wins the 16 to 1, and I didn't back him because I didn't know what to make it a run at Newmarket. And then the last day he came out and absolutely destroyed the field on soft ground. I think it was at Newmarket again.
Yeah.
And it was
Newbury,
and it was in the make of a horse that's a graded horse. So I think it's the old thing where you have a group horse in a handicap and he's actually getting in a little bit lightly. He's going to win this and then be a proper sprinter to follow next year.
And I already go with that. And so
the only thing that can beat him is Adam Kirby.
Yeah,
love it.
Right, wrap up. I'm for Keats at 8-ish.
I'm taking Nord.
River Nymph, my nap.
Mine is Adam Kirby. Naps. What's your nap? You just said
River Nymph.
Tom Nap.
Wonderful tonight.
You just napped against Magical.
Because I want to pick something with a decent price. I can't be napping at 6 to 4.
Okay. What was your nap, Tom?
Wonderful tonight.
Wonderful tonight. Yeah, mine's wonderful tonight as well. Next best.
Wonderful tonight.
Tom.
The Reverend each way. Fill your boots on
that. A Dave each way. 7s, 8 to 1 in the Champions Stakes.
Against Magical.
No, not against Magical. Thought.
That's a shocker. Absolute shocker. The abuse I get for each way bets, and then you tip something each way as your next best against Magical.
Yeah, because As Dave said, what's the point of tipping up a 6-4 shot?
Do you know, I don't think we've ever agreed on this.
15-8.
I don't think we've ever
It's
agreed.
not.
We've
It
never.
Is it? Shut up, Tommy. Trying to talk, man.
We are not sponsored by Paddy Power. You don't have to just give out Paddy Power's prices.
Well, it's in front of me, all right?
Tom, you know what you do, right? Because we've never ever agreed on 2 horses
Double.
on the same video or podcast ever. We've agreed on one here and there. We agree on Wonderful Tonight and Magical. I want you, I'll send you money, to put €10 each for all of us on that double. With the best prices that you can find.
Okay.
And I'll transfer you the money.
Happy days. We'll give that a go.
That doesn't mean each way now. That's just straight win.
Now, Magical and Wonderful Tonight, just so we're clear.
Not the Reverend and something else.
We'll do that. Did anyone see Darva Star yesterday?
Yeah, he was okay.
He was okay. I wouldn't say it was fantastic.
He was very out to his left at a few fences.
He kind of went like this a few times.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Straight back
the
down.
the last one was.
Woo!
And
He looked like he had a bit of a laugh anyway, so.
I was only dust.
I hope they go for the Arkle. I don't want them going up and trip. Like, if he goes up and trip, he's going to get bet by Vial anyway. So what's the point? Like?
Yeah, I agree. I think a strong run Arkle too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the job from.
Anybody Jeremy's Flame?
Good
He
luck.
didn't even last 1 pence.
Who else ran yesterday? Someone decent ran yesterday. 6-shooter. He's jumping, fell the pot, and how he still won, I don't know. He'd be a decent horse. Oh, that Escalane just won. The 5th in the champion bumper. Won by half a length.
Oh.
And we haven't spoke about this. I was happy enough with Queensbrook. I know she didn't win by very far, but she jumped really well, which was the key thing. Davy Russell said she blew up twice.
Yeah, she jumped really well at a slow pace.
2 miles not her ground, not 2 miles not her trip. She went a slow pace, but the main thing was she jumped well. So I'm still sweet on her now for the Mares Novice Hurdle.
News just in: Down Royal gets the go ahead for incomers from England. So there was talk that Harry Durham was saying they don't know if they can get over, but it's just been confirmed. Down Royal goes ahead as Elite Sports exempt from Northern Ireland lockdown. So all good to go for the Nichols camp.
We could be seeing Surname over there then. That's interesting.
Yeah. Surname's on the way over.
The other horse there yesterday was that 3-year-old of Gordon Elliott's.
Oh, Cheveley Park.
Cheveley Park horse. Yeah, he's very smart about that.
He was very, very good. He looked like he was only Dawson halfway around him. Dennis O'Regan gave him a little squeeze.
He's a very, very big horse for a 3-year-old, all the same.
He's massive.
Mm.
Like a 3-mile chaser already. Like.
The Joseph O'Brien horse that was next to him most of the way around was absolutely dwarfed by him. What's his name again?
How do you get be done by a little bit of flat speed? I say he'll be a good horse in the future, though.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
Did you see Court Maid winning the other day, Tom?
No.
That was a
Go back and watch that.
Strange draw.
Go back and watch that.
She had absolutely zero right to win the race. And 3 furlongs out, she was like
she won easily.
6 lengths behind, getting pushed along. She won by 8.
Yeah.
Getting these down.
She jumped out to the left-hand side the whole way around and was being pushed along. And I don't know. She came back in the bridle and ended up winning by about 10 lengths. And
I have to go back and look at that.
Do have a look at that. And the horse that Abracadabra's bet last year in the Royal Bond, the filly, Heaven Help Us, she won over fences the other day as well.
Dude, I was only scrolling through here. There's a few decent races, jump races on Sunday. 2 listed races at Kempton. We have, hold up now, 2 seconds. Ballyandy, Brain Power, Fusel Raffles, Song for Someone, Silver Streak, Brandon Castle, Dear Sawyer, Diego de Charmel, Stu Royale, Verdana Blue are all entered in it. That should be decent, right?
Brain Power. He's probably my most hated jump horse.
Oh, he's so talented, but such an absolute fruitcake. He has no idea what he's doing. Welsh Champion Hurdle is on as well. That is absolutely chronic, to say the least.
Who is in good form as well at the minute is Henry de Bromhead. 4 winners from his last 8 runners.
Who?
Yeah, 4 winners from his last 8 runners.
I want to leave for a minute.
Can I leave while you talk about this?
Yeah. But a nice horse there that won the other day called Brave Away as well. Looked quite nice. The mare that she did. To make it 2 out of 2. She looks quite smart.
Yeah, pretty much. Right.
The horse that won the bumper, I'd say, is good as well. But he got thrown out, but he actually won the bumper, but then got thrown out.
Don't talk to me about that now. That was painful.
Henry don't really train bumper winners, so I'd say he's pretty good. He's so green as well. He nearly threw the race away about 8 times.
Yeah.
Did you get paid? Did you get paid out on that?
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I backed it on Betfair, so I don't get first past the post. And I see this as one. I go out to drop something around to someone's house. Got to her house and was like, check my account balance. Yeah, it was painful. Shares are still available in our horse as well. We sold another few last week after last week's video, so more of the finishing line listeners are getting involved, so it's fantastic. We're
already down for a cut of this now at this stage, are we?
Oh, you're well down for it. Sure, you're involved, lads. You'll be out. You can get an interview with Henry, Andrew. You'd like that?
Oh, is that possible? No chance of Jesus Christ coming back from the dead.
Yeah, give us a shout if you're interested in the share to talk to me about it. We can work something out money wise and whatnot with payment plans and all that. So yeah, we're getting there.
I'll put his email in the description below and you can talk to the man himself and he might be able to get you in contact with Henry before I do. Yeah, you probably would. I'm gonna get Jay on. The hell with Henry. Get Jay on. He knows more about him. Right, we will wrap up because we're starting to talk shite now. Us next week. Cheltenham's back next week.
Cheltenham is back, yeah.
We will be back on Wednesday. Today's today, Wednesday, yeah. With our Cheltenham Festival.
Getting ahead of yourself.
Wow, you're getting way ahead of yourself now.
With the Cheltenham Open Day meeting. And maybe we will have our first Cheltenham Festival Ante-Post video after it. So again, lads, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, click the subscribe button and give us a like and leave a comment below with your best bet for the weekend. And we'll see you again next week.